If you want to make a quantum leap, you need to be sharply pointed rather than well-rounded. You show me someone who is number one, number two, number three in their field. They probably didn't get there or remain there by being well-rounded.
I've never thought about quantum leaps the way you write about quantum leaps, right? I've been in programs where the concept was to 10x the business. Structurally, I've been in other programs where with 10x just meant work harder, whatever you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And then you come along and you write the quantum leap strategy, and just the way you write, and now that makes sense with your English background. It's a skill of yours. The way you write, there's something about the way you write that opens up the mind. There's two things that I think happens when I read your books. One, it really opened up my mind to be ready for a quantum leap. And two, it kind of instilled a boldness, a remarkable boldness to go for it and go, man, we could do this, right? Like I see it out there, like whether it come through strategic partnership, whether it come through key connections, because now I'm weaving all of your books together from Lucky You to Hard Optimism to U Squared. Now I'm seeing the trends where they all tie together in some way. So for you, what are some of your core beliefs about a quantum leap strategy? If you said, these are my core beliefs about how this happens and how to get your mind ready for this.
Well, a quantum leap is a different thing. Like I referenced a minute ago, it's different than ordinary goals, normal kinds of goals. I sat down and a couple of days ago, I thought, okay, we're going to be talking. Now, what's the difference between reasonable goals and quantum leap goals? Well, the first one is just that. Most people's goals are fairly reasonable. And a quantum leap is pretty unreasonable. Usually, a reasonable goal, or a regular goal, it's in that general category of where people typically live and set their aspirations. Okay, so one's reasonable, quantum leap's unreasonable. You're reaching beyond what seems obvious or the next incremental practical step on the career ladder, so to speak. The next thing is you usually kind of know pretty well how to reach a regular goal. With a quantum leap goal, you don't know how to reach it. You don't know how. Secondly, with a regular goal, you can see the resources. You set that goal because you look at your available resources and you think, I've got this, I can do that. I can see that the world would let me do that, so that's what I'm going to go for. With a quantum leap goal, you don't have the available resources. You walk in with blatant, obvious constraints. Okay? Next, with the regular goal, you've engineered your ambition so that you expect low number of mistakes or no mistakes. Yep. With a quantum leap goal, mistakes are a key part of the process. That's a real twist. Next, I mean, you use them, you exploit them. Okay. Next, with a regular goal, trying harder probably works. It usually works. It's a trap when you're shooting for a quantum leap goal.
Yep.
Trying different.
Yep.
Trying differently, I guess to say it properly. Trying differently is the secret. And usually you end up, the game is easier.
Yeah.
And then one finally, I would say the big difference is with regular goals, you can usually stay in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's the big reason why you picked it in the first place. So you get to stay in your comfort zone. With a quantum leap, it's taking you on a ride. You you will get pulled by yourself out of your comfort zone. And that's good because that's where growth happens.
Yeah, I love it. And that's where the heart optimism comes in, and that's where the mindsets come in.
Right.
Now, question, do you have to choose an aiming point? Because when I wrote the book A to B, it's just 15 questions that prompts and forces people to get clear in what they want to do. And I put 2 words in that book that I forgot I had even put in there called opportunity confusion, where there's so much opportunity, people can't choose an aim. And then you come along and you use this word aiming point. And I go, man, that's good. Because if you don't have the aiming point, does a quantum leap happen if you don't have an aiming point? Or is it first to sit down and create the aiming point? You made a decision. We're going to be number 1 in mergers and acquisitions. You got a clear aiming point. All of your resources and time and energy went toward that. Is that necessary first?
It's critical. It's kind of like, if you want to make a quantum leap, you need to be sharply pointed rather than well-rounded. You show me someone who is number 1, number 2, number 3 in their field.
Yep.
They probably didn't get there or remain there by being well-rounded.
Yeah.
Quantum leap goal, well, I used to call it selfish, and I had an Australian guy that was going through one of our courses, and he said, I don't like that word. That just sounds bad, selfish, And I said, okay, well, let me put it this way. Quantum leap goals have a big appetite. They want all of you.
Yeah.
And it's not like that you're going to have to spend the rest of your life this way. But if you're wanting to win the Super Bowl,
yeah,
I'm sorry, the kids want to go trick or treating or they want to do this. I'm sorry, kids. I've got game day coming up,
Yeah.
Or there's a recital. You make sacrifices to achieve, just leverage up to an entirely different level of performance. But people do that. And you change your game, and it requires pretty much all of your cylinders to be focused on that.
It takes me back to when I was a women's basketball coach. For 13 years, I woke up every morning with one aiming point, and that was to win a championship. And I, slept at the office, and we worked till midnight, and we came in at 6:30, and it was all for that one night of being the best, right? Being in the middle of that arena of 10,000 people cheering for you going, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. A lot of sacrifices. Yeah, and that'll be something nobody will ever take away from you, to be the best. And it's hard to explain to people that have never won championships what it's like to sacrifice that much, to be that good, to have that know-how, because it's what you learn in the process that really makes you all of those things. So when I think about aiming point and the sacrifice it takes, I totally understand.